The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newy Scruggs.
Players Lounge. Free agency season. Let's ride.
Let's get it on.
Danny McCray is here. Heckma Harris is here. Barry Church is here. I'm Newy Scruggs. All righty. Whole lot to get into.
True indeed.
Let's start with Mike McCarthy going to the combine.
He not gonna ask us how we doing?
None of that.
Man, hey, shout out to you,
What's
bro.
up with
Shout
it?
out to you.
Well, how my boy, how your mentals doing?
What's up with it?
We see each other once a week. He don't even ask how we doing no
that's
more.
great.
My bad. Let me get our Jason Garrett out of the way.
Man.
How we doing, guys?
Good.
Gracious. I ain't seen the guy. He on one this morning though.
Yeah, I
Before
heard.
we started the show, he was already hating.
No,
So
okay.
I already know what type.
wasn't-
type of show this is gonna be.
Player haters ball?
Oh, player haters ball. He
Heck,
hate.
we were just conversating,
That's
right?
all we
That was
got.
all we were just conversating. But because it happened to be
Conversing.
his city, it's now hate. But we just
Bro, I said Houston is the greatest city in Texas. Okay, and if you don't believe that, that's fine. He said Houston trash.
Whoa.
Don't like nothing about it. Houston trash. He didn't say he didn't like it.
We were talking about traffic. That's what we were talking about. Just to add context.
No. The context is okay. I said, well, then he said, you know what? I probably went the wrong way. You know, I didn't know, enough about
Which
the
is what
city.
I said to you,
Has
right?
Right.
Has he changed his opinion yet? As I continue talking.
No, you haven't convinced him. If
I
that's
know,
what
I
you
know.
if that's what you were trying to do, you have failed
Yeah.
to convince him of that. But I mean,
I gave him good food, good stuff to do. He hyping up the rodeo, hyping up all this other stuff. He still saying trash. It's okay.
Hey,
He just
man,
hate.
I've never
My
had
man.
a bad time in Houston.
Yeah,
I've never had a bad time. That's
You
all
know
I'm
what?
gonna
If I could afford to roll like that, then I probably would have a good time.
it's a whole nother deal when
Right.
you BC. You know what I mean?
You're right about that.
Yeah, it's rare air.
The last time I was in Houston, I think I stayed at the Fairfield Inn because that was all it was. It was out near Spring or whatever because it was a Super Bowl.
Bro, you
That
wasn't in
was-
Houston.
I'm just saying.
This man out here in the Woodlands.
The
talking about
Woodlands?
he don't like Houston.
about 45 out. That's about 45
He's out of Shenandoah.
Yeah, you in Colorado. You halfway to Dallas.
Try to get yourself a hotel in the Super Bowl, with less than 2.5 weeks beforehand. That's where you're gonna be.
Hold on, wait.
Way
All
out
right,
there.
before we
in
get off
any
that.
city, in any city, you're gonna be way out.
So your argument is based off Super Bowl traffic?
No.
Bro, you.
No, wait, we didn't
Bro.
go to. I didn't go to Super Bowl.
But
We were
you
there.
stayed at the Fairfield Inn
We were
during
there.
Super Bowl.
No, so we were there Saturday night. No, that was that.
Okay.
That traffic wasn't. I mean, first off, that's a whole different. A city, the way a city gets shut down during the Super Bowl, it's a total different deal. And Houston's. I mean, no. First off, you go to any Super Bowl city, prepare for traffic to just be totally shut down. But that wasn't the big deal there. No. That was fine. Just playing with you, man. Bottom line, can we now go back to Mike McCarthy?
Yeah,
Let's get back to
Big Mike.
Big Dog. Let's get back to Big
No, I
Dog.
was just saying, bro.
Eminem's
we
out
see each
here.
other once a week, bro. Make a little sense. See how you doing. Check in. You know what I'm saying? People hate Houston. They just
How we
hate it.
doing, guys?
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm doing good.
That's outstanding.
basic
Glad you asked.
It's good, man.
How we doing,
Of course
guys?
today. It's kind of nice.
You should. You should be a beautiful day. Heck, well, we're talking about some play-by-play. Trying to see. He was doing some basketball this week because there's all these conference tournaments
Yeah.
coming on, and we got a
Going
bunch
down.
of them here. So we got the Conference USA tournament. It's gonna be right here at the Star where we're doing the broadcast right here. So they do the men's and women's tournaments right over there, man. So that's a very unique concept that they have, and then the American Athletic Conference is doing theirs over at Dickies in Fort Worth. They're doing the tournament out there, so that's pretty cool. I enjoy the fact living here in a town where we got a lot of basketball. I'm a big college basketball guy. Mm-hmm. Haven't spent a lot of time growing up in North Carolina.
U of H was number one just a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. You know what? U of H is coming to the Big 12.
Yeah. I'm just.
You know who the head coach is?
All I'm saying is.
You know who the head coach is?
To Samson?
Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah.
Where he graduate from?
I want to talk to Sam.
Where he graduate from?
I don't know. Please enlighten us.
Where'd he graduate from?
Pembroke?
Pembroke. Hey, Pembroke.
College
in the
Paul,
house.
Bubba Spalt. There you go.
No wonder you be winning them reality shows. You put that clue together quick, boy.
Yeah, I bet you
Put that
this.
clue.
They ain't listening to Vanilla Ice over there in pregame.
You know it. You know it's going.
Actually, his wife is now a member of the trustees, so you need to talk to her because she was on the board when they booked Vanilla Ice. Back to Mike
There we
McCarthy,
go.
gentlemen.
All right, here we go.
Okay, back to LeSure.
All right.
So Mike McCarthy goes to the combine. You want to know the truth. Man, tell you the truth. There are people mad about what they heard. The man sat there and told you, hey, I like Kellen Moore. I used to be Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore want to run up points, want to add number one offense. I used to be that, but I want a Super Bowl. I want to run the ball. I want to protect my defense. My head coach, I see it differently. What he's saying there is what I've had other coaches talk to me about, especially in the college level, about dealing with dudes who are gurus who want to run up and show off their plays. And I feel like, man, I don't think this dude was throwing him under the bus. This is what was happening. That's me. Then you go ahead, Church.
No, go ahead. I want to get
okay, it's your guy.
Because I want to know. I feel like this is deflecting from the real problem, but I'm not going to talk about the real problem.
Go ahead, give it all out there, baby. Give it all out there.
Wasn't this team a top 10 rushing team overall?
Yes.
They were a top 10 rushing. Isn't the goal in the NFL to score as many points as you can?
No.
That's not the goal?
No, it's to score more points than the other team.
Okay, and they were one of the top teams at scoring points. Is that correct?
True.
So what's the problem?
What's
What's the problem?
Now you watch the games like we watch the games, okay? And those games where you put up 40 on Minnesota, they can change the average a lot. Those games when you put up 50 on they change it. But when it came to the times when you really needed to put up some points against some really good defenses over the last few years, we ain't done that.
Whose fault is that?
Mike
Is that
McCarthy.
Kellen Moore's
Mike
fault?
McCarthy just said, "Hey man,
Is that Kellen Moore? That's what this is just crazy to me. How we're sitting there saying
my quarterback out here throwing interceptions.
Throwing
We don't have the receiving core that we thought we had. So how can you then adapt to make sure that, okay, since we can't do that, our quarterback ain't protecting the ball, let's lean on our defense and make sure that we end every drive with a kick. How can we do that, Kellen? He didn't do that. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. You said
rushing team. I can see if we weren't even in attempts. I can see if we weren't even attempting to run the football.
You're letting statistics get in the way. Go back to 2 years ago when they were scoring 40 against the NFC East and were struggling against everybody else. And then when they had to play the winning team, like I'll go back to the Kansas City game. When I went up there to play Kansas City, defense did enough for you. Defense did way. The offense couldn't score. But then you go ahead and play the Giants and roll 40 on them and 50 on them. There was an imbalance.
Arizona. Don't forget about Arizona.
Right, I'm with Danny on this all day.
The problem is that we acting like these plays that are being drawn up just ain't working because for some reason we understand why they weren't working.
But if it's not working, if it's consistently as you're going into the season, you say, man, we in week 7 and this ain't working. All right, we leading the league in picks since the dude that came back. We cannot protect the ball. What do we need to do to make sure we get this on track? You play for defense coordinators that say, you know what, bro, we going back to the basics. Yeah. We gonna slim down the playbook because what we doing right now ain't working.
Right.
And we never saw that happen with Kellen Moore calling the plays. We never say, hey, man, that got 17. We say, man, he gonna take care of the ball this time. We give him another opportunity to go out there and throw 3 picks in the game.
So what else can you do as an offense? If you're a top 10 in attempts and rushing the football, as well as you're putting up points, what else can you do? You're attempting to run the football. Is that? I mean, you're attempting to run the football,
but you're not running it enough, according to McCarthy.
You're not.
I talk to him.
The thing that I think that what you're pointing out, Church, is right because you're taking the sample size based off of the statistics, and where you're going is we're handing this offense over to Dak, and he's turning the ball over. All right, this pretty much after missing 5 games, threw more interceptions than any quarterback in last season. My thing was, when I listened to Mike McCarthy, what I think he was just basically pointing out is that as a head coach, his responsibility is totality, taking care of the team, playing complementary football, so to speak, all right? But I would sum it up like this. When you look at, let's say, the Dan Quinn Super Bowl, they had statistically, mathematically, analytically, there's no way you lose that Super Bowl if Shanahan does what? Run the ball, all right? That's going to win you a Super Bowl. It's damn near impossible mathematically to do that. Now you look at Shanahan as a head coach in San Francisco, he don't call plays like that because he's a head coach and he's also thinking about his defense. Just one more. Think about the Seattle Super Bowl, Seattle versus New England. Now, that's Atlanta. That's one less Super Bowl ring for Brady and Belichick. Then you go to the Seattle, New England. You're on the 1-yard line, and your OC calls a what? On the 1-yard line. And so I think what Mike McCarthy is basically saying is being reckless at certain points in time in the season, they just left the defense out to dry. And we have one of the best defenses, but you just don't call plays the way that Kellen Moore did. And I'm sure if Dan Quinn probably echoed what he said, like, man, if you call that dump one more time, and that was through the season, you're looking at it from the numbers, but just based off of the eyeball test, there were certain plays that they called that it was head scratchers through the season.
Let me build on what you said about Shanahan. Go back to when he was in the Super Bowl as a head coach, had a 10-point lead against Kansas City, and he going to have Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the ball. Garoppolo missed the pass. Kansas City get the ball right back. They go, next thing you know, Patrick Mahomes, bing, and they go win the game. And even the Kansas City defenders were like, yeah, man, glad they stopped running that thing. Because San Francisco sitting here running it.
Right.
So much of it is what these guys, it is situational. So, yeah, you could tell me, man, we were top 10, but where were you when it counted? And I think, and I go back to when I think you were on a team with Romo and DeMarco Murray. Romo's best year was when DeMarco was the NFL offensive MVP because they ran the ball. The more Dak and Romo threw it, you check their record. When they throw over 40 passes, it's a losing record. Even when Troy was here, there is something to be a balance. And if we don't think that Dak is in the elite quarterback, if you're not putting him in that Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, you need to be running the ball more effectively. And as Danny talked about, you see, man, you giving him shots and he's still throwing picks. You know what we're going to do? I mean, let's take that ball out your hand a little bit more. Run that thing. And keep your defense off the field. This is not a defense that needs to be out there 30-plus minutes. I don't think they are.
But was this an extreme? You talk about, running it in circumstances and all that good stuff. But was this team dominant in the ground? Like, we can say, all right, you know what, Dak, you're struggling right now. Just turn around and hand the football off. How many times did we see Zeke go 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Yeah.
How many? We acting like, hey, let's run this day. We got Tennessee Titans. Yeah, we did. No, did he get to the Pro Bowl running the football or just in totality what he was able to do? Catching the ball out of the backfield as well.
I think when that happens, what you also have to say is Mike McCarthy is a Super Bowl winning coach. Watching Kellen Moore call plays, maybe saying, okay, can we get a little bit more creative with the runs? Did we have the most creative run game in the league?
But But when you go back to his Super Bowl, how did he get there? How did he win the Super Bowl?
He been
in 20-something in the ground game.
No, he been in the lab. He's been in the
lab.
Hold on. Wait. If you talking about running the ball and you've been in the lab and let's say you've been studying teams who had great defenses and they were able to run the ball, right?
Right.
So you are looking at a Shanahan type of offense.
Absolutely.
And you saying, hey, man, is our running game this creative? Do we have the weapons to be able to duplicate what they're doing with a Deebo Samuel or their running back by committee when they come in? I would say no, we don't. No. I would say our running game was less creative than our passing game. I think most of the creativity was, hey, man, how are we going to line up 4 guys out here, 5 guys out here, and kind of trick them, dick them, and see how we can get this defense to kind of, lose sight of somebody versus, hey, man, can we run misdirection that nobody's seen before? We can get the linebackers out of position because we always seem to be that team, right? If we pursue too fast, then teams will catch us and over pursue and kind of use the cutbacks on us. Did we do that? Or it was like, hey man, Tony Pollard in the game. All right, we know that's where it's going.
Yeah.
All right, Zeke in the game. We know it's going right there.
Yeah. And they became predictable a lot in the season, but I think it's just what we're talking about was what he said shade at Kellen, and I didn't think it was. I thought as much as people perceived it to be that way, I thought he was just basically stating the obvious about how you're supposed to take care of your football team, especially when you have a lead or you're, wherever you are in the football game. But I do understand I agree with you completely. The creativity in the running game wasn't there. They ran a lot of outside zone when Pollard was in, and it was more power when Zeke was in the game.
And fullbacks too.
Boom.
4th and 1, my man Zeke was lined up at fullback. Every time.
and that's where I think a lot of times with this, the offensive play calling for Kellen Moore was so maddening is that it just sputtered. They didn't have an identity. Even looking back over last season, what was the identity of this team? What were they, blood to bone, what were they good at?
That's true.
Well, what they were good at saying was, all right, man, the extension of the running game. And that started in week 1 of the season when we all said in his, and everybody's like, hey, man, Tampa Bay got a great defense. We ain't going to be able to run it against them, so we're going to have an extension of the running game. We're going to throw bubble screen after bubble screen after bubble screen. And everybody came here and sat down talking about, that's the running game. That's the running game. 2 years later, a year later, Mike McCarthy talking about, hey, man, we need to run the ball more. So what you think Big Mike was thinking after that press conference? He said, man, we threw the ball 50 times. We lost the game, and we talking about we ran the ball well because we did the extension of the running game.
And as Mike got criticism, I went back into this, and we kind of talked about this, and nobody's beat this one home more than Danny. You hired a dude who was a play caller, and he's not calling the plays.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Other than and this is just me, I believe he sat there and just like, yeah, man, Kellen Moore, I'd have hired Kellen Moore if I went so he get the job. The man, look, the Jets and Cleveland Browns told you no. So after you losing jobs at them two franchises, man, you going to say whatever you need to, just trying to get back in the league. Oh, yeah, you're a genius. Boy, genius. Boy, work with boy. So you say what you got to say to get the job. I ain't going to lie, man. My first job, NASCAR, yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't know nothing. Except for Richard Petty.
So you wasn't in the lab?
Bro, I ain't know nothing about NASCAR. I knew that Joe Gibbs owned the team. I knew Richard Petty, and Richard Petty won no more races. So, dude, I was that black dude out there.
The black dude out there.
It was a couple others. But
Did y'all head down at each other? Hey.
Can you help me? What's a tire test? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's right front? I mean, I didn't know, but you know, I need to get that job.
Yes, sir.
So learn, but and look, Uncle Wade, what do you have to do to get the job? Jason Garrett was already hired. So you had to say that. So basically, the last two guys who become head coach had to take these dudes, them call plays.
What was the question though? Because I want to know what was asked to him. Like, was it because I feel like. I don't know the exact question, but I feel like he could have just been like, you know what? Kellen is going to have a bright future somewhere else. We're going to go in a different direction and leave it at that.
Okay.
So what was the actual question?
This is great because when it happened, I asked my producer, do we have this? Because McCarthy to the podium. And then Machota told me, no, this was off to the side or like at the breakfast or whatever. So where they didn't have cameras. People a little more loose, and you guys know this very well, how you hear something and write it versus watching someone say it. Right. I didn't take it as him shading Kellen Moore as much as him saying, hey, man, look, young play call, I've been here, man. Hey, this is my job is to set up here and dial up some plays. This is what we're going to do. As a head coach, I think differently. It's maybe you studied this when in school, in your business school, zoom in, zoom out. McCarthy, you zooming out. You look at the whole thing. You, Kellen Moore, you zooming in because we were to put us some points. That's what we do. And McCarthy's saying, man, I need as a play caller to win championships, you got to zoom out. And when you're young, you don't really know that. And it wasn't like he was on a Super Bowl team here or anywhere else in his career in Detroit. That's how I didn't take it as a slam. I think Kellen Moore will go to L.A. and be good.
Oh, yeah.
I think
good luck. I can't wait.
Herbert.
You got Kellen Moore and Herbert now. I can't wait.
Now,
Maybe show.
I think he'll be good. They'll score some
You're
points.
going to have him.
The
sure.
The head coach will get everyone fired.
Oh, yeah. Man,
I don't want to hear none of that. Nope, I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want. No, y'all already trying to handicap it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
He's not going to let that man have no out. No outs.
Handicap it already.
Yeah, no outs going to be allowed.
Keenan Allen might not be there. The head coach not good, but Kellen Moore, Justin Herbert, they holding him back.
Be 4th and 9, and he gonna let Kellen Moore call a play.
It's on you.
It's gonna look just like that Zeke play. Eckler gonna be snapping the ball.
Oh, no.
4th and 9, and they on 40.
Oh, no.
See how they doing? See how they doing, K Moore? They putting all it on K Moore. See how they doing?
Hold on, wait. So who can? Come on, man. Did Big Mike, raise your hand if you believe Big Mike came up with the last play that we saw this season when Zeke lined up at center? Raise your hand if you think it was Big Mike.
Absolutely.
Okay, now raise your hand if you think it was Kellen Moore's idea.
Bomb.
And on that, let's take
I'll get ready to fight. I'll let it go. I'm going to let it go, man. I'm going to let it go.
Let's take our first break here on the Players Lounge.
How do we get to that situation?
This Players Lounge, DallasCowboys.com radio.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King. Rule the day.
Attention Cowboys fans looking for the best shave of your life. There's a new official razor of the Dallas Cowboys, Shave Logic. Imagine not having to buy blades as often and getting more smooth shaves than your old razor, guaranteed or your money back. After more than 10 years of research and over 150 company patents, ShaveLogic is proud to offer Cowboys fans a special offer. For a limited time, visit ShaveLogic.com and get a free $10 gift card with your purchase. Go to ShaveLogic.com now for more smooth shaves guaranteed.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Registration is now open for 2023 Dallas Cowboys Youth Camp and Cheer Camp presented by Invisalign. Use promo code SPRINGBREAK23 for $25 off camps on March 14th or 15th at AT&T Stadium. Visit DallasCowboys.com/camps.
Thank you, Heckma Harrison, joined by former Cowboy safeties Barry Church and Cray. I am Newey Scruggs. This Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos. Dalton Schultz's name was mentioned at the Combine. Donovan Wilson's name was mentioned at the Combine. Two free agents. Two free agents.
Got no faith.
Derek Carter to the Saints.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Derek Carter Saints. Yeah, good luck with that.
Michael Thomas there?
Does it matter? Last time he
maybe
did
he been saving it.
Last time he been doing it. When last time he did something?
He been saving it.
Yeah, he been
you ain't put
slant.
him on,
Slant.
You ain't had him on your fantasy team and
he won't touch my roster.
Right, exactly. So
Derek Carr not.
Right. Yeah. So neither one gonna be on your fantasy team. I said before, man, not like Dalton Schultz. I think he's done a fantastic job for where he was drafted, but you paid him $10 million last year. You kept on a franchise tag. You got the two rookies that showed you they can play. I just say you let Dalton Schultz go. This is a very good tight end draft. That big old boy from Georgia, I'm just saying, man, look, I was a massive child when I saw him. Like, this is somebody's child.
Yeah.
Is he 21? Is he 21?
Yes.
It's a big deal.
But this is a good tight end class. This is a good tight end class. And the Cowboys, in my opinion, have done a really good job at being able to identify tight ends.
Yeah, because you got a great coach that identifies tight ends as well. So, I mean, you come up with Schottenberg this year, and I'm sure they couldn't look down into the future to realize that they were going to get that kind of production out of those two young guys. And we talked about that all season. That's what made Schultz expendable. Not that Schultz didn't have a hell of a year. Not that he's not the quarterback's best friend. I just believe that when you look at the roster, you recognize that, look, you got two young guns that if you stay with these guys on these rookie contracts that you have, man, you're going to get a lot of production out of these guys. And plus, this tight end group is pretty talented as you talk about the guy from, I ain't going to call him a child, a grown man from Georgia.
Somebody child. Wait till he become a grown man. Once you get up here, they start utilizing that child. It's gonna be poor TCU. He
ain't stand a chance.
Well, that was the brother with him. The other man, the little white guy, was just killing everybody. I was like, oh my gosh, stop it.
It was a mismatch.
It was the ninth grade team and the varsity. That's true.
It was.
I had faith. I had faith in possibly bringing back Schultz for a while. I can say that's at about 2% now. 2%. One, the price tag. Boom. Two, the young talent we have on the roster. Boom. Three, Mike McCarthy said, we are going to focus on being a running team.
You know he ain't blocking.
Know what that means.
And that is not a strength of my man Dalton Schultz. Getting out there, lining up in the formation and blocking a defensive end. That is not his specialty. Even lining up out there at number one, trying to block guys in space on the bubble screen, that is not his specialty. And I think that's ultimately that's what's going to be the reason that gets him up out of here. But I'm just telling you, man, him and Dak, they got a special relationship. But if you can't block on a running team, then you up out of there.
It's a wrap. And then, look, you guys hit Dalton Schultz. I'm not going to add on to that. But when you talk about Donovan Wilson, that's the other one, right? The Donovan Wilson. I love his game. I love his game. He's a thumper, enforcer, comes downhill. He's cracking skulls. I mean, the guy's the type of guy you want to go in the trenches with. But when you look at that tag or, what the safeties are getting, that's 14 M's. 14 M's a year. For an enforcer, I can't see that. Unless you're Cam Chancellor and the way he was able to, change the dynamic of the game, then, yeah, I go ahead and try to get a deal done with him. But, no disrespect to him, but he's not Cam Chancellor. And he's not taking the ball away enough for me to warrant that 14 tag. Like, I can see he's a playmaker, but he's not, how Earl Thomas was in his day or Troy Polamalu, where if they're not getting picks, they're jumping over.
You pulling out the back.
That's what I'm saying.
Dog.
And that's
Ryan Wilson next.
That's the price tag, though.
Who's the best safety on our roster? Is it Donovan Wilson?
No, I wouldn't say it.
So that's where you run into the issue.
Yeah.
He's not even the best one on the roster.
Well, go ahead.
No.
And I guess when I look at Donovan Wilson is, you know how it goes when they start throwing that. Oh, you're a box safety. You know what that means? That's to insinuate that you can't cover, right? You're a downhill guy, and I think the Cowboys played primarily with a 3 safety system this entire season. And of the 3, you would look at Dono as the weakest link when it comes down to coverage.
Not only safety, some linebackers that can cover better than him on that.
You heard?
Being real.
That's what I mean. So, and especially with, I heard Jerry talking about this in his interview, just saying how the NFL has evolved into a tight end league and how you're looking for that mismatch. And I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but Kittle baptized. It was and everybody's trying to scheme and find the mismatch, and a lot of time he was on the losing end of that. But when it comes down to a guy coming down here meeting you at the line of scrimmage, boy, 6 is the man. He's like Thomas Everett. He's throwing. I mean, you pulled out Troy Polamalu and some guys like that, but I'm just saying, like, he's one of those throwback type safeties at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's why they're not throwing him back $14 million. It's not happening.
The safety room with Dan Quinn is like that old group Menudo.
Who?
Menudo. So what happened is
right.
So they were.
Ain't that Scarface brother name on Manny?
The group Menudo was like, think of the Latin New Edition. You aged out, they brought in somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Barry Church, you now 16. Well, you out, Menudo. We got to go find us a 14-year-old. You go find somebody else. Dan Quinn's job, hey, we need you to identify the talent. We will get them low, and then you're going to go in here and play. When Bill Polian hired Tony Dungy, one reason why he said he wanted to run the Tampa 2, he's like, I don't want to pay money for man corners because man corners cost me too much. But I can draft some younger guys with Tony, and he can coach them up. As he was like, that was his whole thing. He's like, I'll pay my defensive ends, but I ain't trying to pay on the back end. Dan Quinn, you go find us a safety that you like. Maybe it's the Bell kid that they brought in from Florida A&M.
Exactly.
We're going to keep just replacing these guys. Jimmy Johnson's whole thing was like, I don't pay linebackers. Say I'll pay them in the front, pay him in the back, but I ain't paying in the middle. So Ken Norton was allowed to leave. Robert Jones was allowed to leave. Godfrey Miles was allowed to leave. That somewhere along the way in the salary cap world, you got to say, man, this is just where I'm going to try and plug and play. And my gosh, since Dan Quinn has been here, I mean,
he's been successful at that.
At a spot where we, for years, were like, oh my gosh, can y'all do something?
now, I don't know about Menudo, but you did say New Edition. But I would say
Ricky Martin was in Menudo.
Right on. Right? But I would say when Bobby Brown left, they bought it. When Bobby Brown left, they bought in Johnny. You know what I mean? So
that's it.
So you got to find me.
We need Johnny. Somebody to rub you the right way. My.
That's it.
Yes, we need that. Boys to men, you know. There you go. That's what you do, man. That's what you do.
What you got, D-Mac?
I got nothing, man. Y'all talk about Menudo.
Little Candy Rain. They're going to be working Candy.
Come on, dog. You got to know.
Little sulfur real.
I know New Edition, bro.
Okay, I've been saying
I'm
don't
talking
do
about
that.
Menudo.
Okay.
I'm just going back to Pembroke. I'm just categorizing all this stuff.
Kelvin Sampson?
Yeah.
H-Town?
Man,
Cougar.
look, so here you go. You don't like Houston, so I don't want to hear nothing.
I am a Houston Cougar fan.
Oh, Lord, you a fan.
Kelvin
Have they given you a hat?
Kelvin Sampson. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Kelvin, my guy.
So you're a true fan.
Wherever Kelvin has been, I've been there. We was in Oklahoma, was there. We went to Indiana. Wherever Kelvin is, I am right there.
All right.
Got the roof of the album.
He must not be a bruh or something because I didn't see you.
No.
Okay, all right. I was like, okay, you throwing you give a lot of credit.
No.
Okay. But he went to Pembroke. That's what it is. Okay, my
I
bad.
bet he loved Houston, though.
Oh, I bet he does love H-Town.
Between the Rockets and everything, that's his town.
I know it is. So you the only one there.
I'm good with that. I'm good. Let's take a break.
Menudo's
on this tangent.
My dog.
That's Danny.
It's Monday of the off-season. Tangents are welcome.
Barry Church from New Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos from Dallas Cowboys.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Back to the Players Lounge.
This is how we country music's Party of the Year is coming to the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. The Academy of Country Music Awards are always bringing you country music's brightest stars together under one roof, and no one does it country like Texas. Witness history on May 11th. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com.
All right, Hackman, I want you to go and check it out for the show, man. You know,
Oh, he gonna offer me up. Word up. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nui. Awesome. Yeah.
I gotta work that.
Report live.
Report live.
Awesome.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Good deal.
Yeah, man. You know, Dak went out there to one of them things, the country thing. You know, McCarthy was at one of them too. So, yeah, man.
Okay. You know, Sweet Life is good around here. You know, they give me in the suite. I'm good with you.
Like I said, man, check it on out, man. See what they gonna do. Tell them it's for the show.
It's at the Ford Center, so there's not a lot of suites at the Ford Center.
Yeah, Thank you for. I didn't think of that. That's
they got
still
one
a sacrifice.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know there's at least one.
Yeah, you go up there.
There's at least one. Roll up there. Danny McCray, Barry Church, Heckman Harrison. I'm Newey Scruggs. This Players Lounge brought to you by Tostitos. All right, we were tossing around topics. One of the topics brought up there. Can you afford to pay your quarterback big free agent money and win a championship? Then it was the ... like Mahomes.
No. He's out of the conversation. Unless you have a Mahomes. If you don't have Mahomes, can you afford to do that? If you don't have one of the most talented quarterbacks that you've ever seen in your entire life, can you afford to pay your quarterback a ton of money and not be able to fill I guess, fill around him with a bunch of talented guys, receivers, tight ends, running back.
Can you get the job done?
Can you get Super Bowl? Not just winning.
Can you get to the Super Bowl?
No, winning the Super Bowl.
Winning.
Can you be a Super Bowl? Can you have a Super Bowl winning team if you don't have enough money to go out and get big time free agents to surround your quarterback with?
Can you afford to pay Dak and then fill this roster? Come on, D-Mac.
I mean, I'm talking about Dak. We talking about Lamar. We talking about all the guys who Joe Burrow. We talking about guys who are going to be coming up soon. Who you looking at getting paid more than $50 million a year?
But then we have to take Mahomes off the table.
No, that's what it said.
Okay.
No, Mahomes outlier.
Okay, outlier. Okay.
We talking about
Yeah.
He just did it, but we understand it's Mahomes.
You know, I'm really curious to see what Cincinnati is going to do with Joe Burrow. He's the one quarterback that I think is, out of all that group, is more talented than the talent that's around. He makes these guys better. Now, listen, Chase is that boy. Yeah. But I do believe that he benefits by also having a great quarterback. And so
You listening?
I'm listening.
I'm listening. Everybody else that falls into that category, I think you have a hard time because it's also on the other side of the ball. You got to have guys that can get stops on defense also. So all things being considered, I think that's what makes that argument so intriguing because if in the quarterback era and in the way that they put the salary cap together, they damn near handicap you if you're paying one guy a quarter of what the salary cap is. So, I think it's a legitimate gripe, but it's just teams that seem to be able to get that done. And that's where my question is. Some, especially like the Rams, like they just salary cap be damn.
Look at them.
They paid Stafford. Stafford's making top dollar. Peyton Manning was making top dollar. He was never giving anybody any deals when he was in Indianapolis. I mean, Denver had to pay him big money. Eli was never some dude who was he wasn't on no Tom Brady contract. Eli was paying top 5.
No. The only reason I'm gonna take Stafford out is because on that Super Bowl winning team, he had weapons around him, receiver-wise. His receiver won the Triple Crown. We said Odell was finna go off and win Super Bowl MVP at that time. So he did have at least 2 guys at that time. And Cooper Kupp was unstoppable at that point.
And the defense.
And the defense. You had Von Miller on there. You had Aaron Donald on there. You got Jalen Ramsey on there.
But you had a guy making significant money.
But these guys were making money before Matthew Stafford came in. Like, he came in and was surrounded by these guys when he got there. Can you pay a guy that's on your team now and then still bring in all those guys like the Rams? So do a reverse.
All right.
We get Stafford. Are we still getting Von Miller? Are we still getting Jalen Ramsey? Are we still paying Aaron Donald?
Absolutely not.
Are you still able to do all those things?
Can I give you? I'll give you one scenario. The team didn't win the Super Bowl because the head coach messed up by trusting the quarterback. But Jimmy Garoppolo went to San Francisco. 7 games, they made him the highest paid quarterback in the league. And, they did go to the Super Bowl. I think he completed 9 passes in the NFC Championship game. But there, to me, listening to you, does that qualify?
They didn't win. Can you win a Super Bowl? They didn't win. So can they? Yeah, they probably could have won the game, but they lost. Man. So have we seen it?
Yeah.
Big Ben back in the day.
I mean, we saw. And now you're doing the exclusion. You say, can we? Yeah, have we seen it? Yeah, we saw it. We just saw Patrick Mahomes. And now you're saying, well, you got to take him out.
The exclusion is people are considering Patrick Mahomes to be the greatest quarterback of all time already.
I wouldn't say that.
No, have we not heard that?
Dan Orlovsky didn't say that.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Come on now.
Have we is it fair to say that he is probably ahead of pace when it comes to being the greatest of all time?
Yeah,
he's ahead of the pace.
He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory resume right now. So, I mean, to me, I feel this is just me. I feel like it's a moving target you got going right now. Hey, can you pay a quarterback and win a Super Bowl? Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Nah, take him out of it.
That's the only one. You brought up Jimmy Garoppolo. They didn't win.
So they have to win it.
Can you have a Super Bowl winning team?
Peyton Manning was
okay.
Yeah. They did it with him.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, there we go.
I mean, you're gonna have the outliers, but then when you start saying Peyton Manning, like, okay, that's Peyton Manning. Eli, let's say this too about Eli Manning. Eli Manning had one of the best defenses in it. Let's not forget
but
that
they paid him elite money.
Those guys,
and that's what I'm saying. Tom Condon ain't out here giving out no discounts. So
absolutely,
he was paid.
Absolutely. And the question for me is right now, the Cowboys have a situation with Dak, and I think that's what Jerry was talking about. That, like, it's damn near difficult to put that kind of talent around this guy and also pay CD and also pay Diggs and also pay Micah down the line. You got so many guys that you have to pay, and then the expectation is he can do it with just the limited talent and aging talent that he has around him. And I don't think he can. You're going to have to get guys around him that he's proven to you. Yep. I got to have some dudes. And who builds a roster like that other than having a guy on a rookie deal and not on a $40 million a year deal?
So, to your point, and Bill Polian wrote a book about 5 or 6 years ago. It's really good. This before he was out here trying to move Lamar Jackson to wide receiver. But he spoke about
He's about to discredit your whole argument. Because I'm glad you went ahead and threw that out there. I was waiting for you to get a real good one.
In building the Colts.
Right.
In building the Colts, and he said, you in the NFL, today's NFL, you have to decide, what do I want to be? Offense or defense? He's like, Colts, we were offense, put the money towards offense, and we just paid a couple dudes on defense and asked our head coach, man, we need you to coach a bunch of young dudes. Then he talked about Seattle. On the other side, they went heavy defense.
Right.
They went heavy defense and just said, hey, offensively, we're going to run the ball here. And
simple formula.
Yeah, before Russ could cook. So in Jerry's case, he's at this point where I feel like, Jerry, you're trying to pay a little bit of everybody here. What are you? What are you doing? He's also mispaid guys, in my opinion. Why didn't you get Dak when you could have had him at the Goff Wentz price? Those guys, Goff and Wentz, are still on those same deals. Still on those same deals that they signed at $30-something million. Now they look like bargains. I mean, Detroit ain't going to get rid of Goff because they ain't making $32 million. It's fine. They could have had him there. That's a mistake. You paid Zeke and gave him the highest number out there for a running back. You messed up. He was still 2 years in. Then with Cooper, you made a trade for Amari Cooper, and you didn't sign it to a contract immediately. So we look at that. And so you wait until the end. You got to pay Dak. They messed up. They pay your boy Crawford instead of paying Tank Lawrence. See, all along the way, we go sit up here and like, Dak, it's your fault. Management, what you doing?
No,
I'm saying, what you doing? Man. At some point in time, but fans, you want to beat up 4 when it's like, look at your management team asking what they do. If we're shareholders in a company, we'd be looking at Jerry, the CEO, like,
what you doing?
Hey man, this right, man. We are not identifying and paying the people at the right time. I mean, Crawford, man, how you pick up that check with a straight face? Have somebody go get it. Get out of the car and get it. I ain't sorry. I'm sorry, man. What did he do? What did he do? What did he do? What did he do? And then Tank's sitting up here sacking folk, going to Pro Bowl, and he's begging for dollars, man. But I just find it hard.
I got nothing. I don't
know. No, you want that? I just say,
I got nothing. Talk about a tangent.
I just feel bad when Jerry come out here. Hey, Dak, you be paying you all that money. Bro, you did this.
No, but how about this? What happens when you're not bullish on a guy? When I'm not sold on your talent, I understand that I have talent around. You got the best offensive line in the league your rookie season and the best running back in the league your rookie season. All of that translates into the victories, and you still don't get to the NFC Championship.
You had a coaching problem.
Man, hey, can we go?
Okay, man. All right.
No, you're right. But you had a coaching problem.
But still, if I'm not sold on your talent, you think about Dak in his second year coming in. Like again, he was. You saw his limitations; they were blaring. And the more they tried to push him out there to be this elite level quarterback, more and more he showed you, look, you're going to have to get guys around him. What did they do? They ran out Allen Hurns and my man number 11 from Beasley.
Yeah.
They ran those guys. And there was no way that Dak was going to succeed with that. But then they make a midseason trade for Cooper. Oh, okay, this is going to work.
And you didn't pay Cooper, so you go to free agent market in Washington, give him a whole bunch of cash. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess we'll meet your number, $100 million.
Either way, I'm just saying, as Dak is right now, you recognize, look, has Dak, I'm going to ask you this, has Dak plateaued as far as his talent? Is this as good as it's going to get? Is he going to unveil anything in his game that's going to tell you, oh, okay, that's a new wrinkle?
No, not new, but if Dak gets back to being a mobile quarterback, then I think.
But do you really believe that he's actually going to?
No, he did a little bit more. Toward the end of the season, we saw him run a little bit more. I think if he gets back to that, then you might see some growth.
It may throw a growth there. Yeah, thank you.
We didn't restart cruising altitude. I will take the seatbelt sign off.
We here now.
That's what made Dak
36,000 feet.
When Dak was on his way to getting paid before that, Dak's ability to run the ball and move the chains by getting out of the pocket, extending plays, that was a huge part of his game.
Right.
And since he's hurt himself, you haven't really seen that.
No.
You haven't seen it. And now that's glaring. That's a glaring issue for you saying, hey, man, we paid this guy because he was one of those mobile quarterbacks. Even to a point where Jerry was talking about, oh, that's some of that stuff Cam Newton is doing. Dak should be able to do some of that. That is what Jerry thought about Dak's ability to run the ball. And since he's got hurt, you haven't been able to see it.
Guys, this is fun.
Cam Newton.
This is fun. This is fun. We will continue this discussion. We got a lot more to talk about. This thing we talked about for a long, long time now. We'll do that next week.
Catching them strays, boy. There's strays all day for New Year's.
Yeah.
Crawford, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
But he was here. He ain't say nothing about it.
Had Tank in the welfare line.
He
begging for dollars.
Begging for dollars.
Begging for dollars.
They got to make chains.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Shake something Tuesday.
I don't agree with
T-shirts.
These are Newey's words.
Newey's word. You ain't lying.
Not my words.
He's selling merch.
These are his words.
No.
They have trunk sales, man.
My man said he was selling merch.
Nope.
Selling merch.
Not on
They paid the Canadians.
It's time to go.
Come on, what are we doing, guys?
It's time to
Come
go.
on in.
Play sounds. We'll talk to you next week.
Selling merch.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?